Hello, agentpreneurs, and welcome to episode 50 of the Daily List Report. Today we've got something a little bit different. We are going to do a tech review. So today we're going to talk about a gimbal. What is a gimbal? A gimbal is basically a device that rotates a camera on a single axis, and none of that really matters. All you need to know as a real estate agent is that for basically $100, $140, you can get a piece of equipment that is going to make your video look incredible. And I'm going to show you some examples of that in just a moment. So what we're going to look at today is the Osmo Mobile 3 Combo. Now, we have no relationship with any of these companies. We buy all of our own equipment, but I've been fascinated with gimbals because, as we've talked about a lot on the show, we are now all content creators. You're going to be making more video than you ever have before. You're going to be doing more video conferencing than ever before. You're probably going to be flying drones here pretty soon. And so what you need to do is you need to make sure that you make some small investments in equipment that's going to make sure that your video quality is absolutely incredible. So what we're going to look at today, again, is the Osmo Mobile 3 Combo. This kit right here on Amazon is $139. So this is, I think, accessible to the vast majority of people out there. And it's going to, again, make your video quality look amazing. Now, I'm going to talk about what's included in the combo kit. The base version of this is available for $119. There are, frankly, other versions from other companies that I've seen as cheap as $80, and they do similar things. I happen to like this piece of equipment. DJI, if you don't know, makes a lot of the amazing drones that probably many of you have used for your real estate videos. But I like this company because their gimbal is incredible and it's very smooth, and the software that comes with it, which is just an app that you use on your phone, is also, frankly, amazing. So what do you get for, in this case, $139? So the combo kit comes with a nice little case, which is good to protect your gimbal, easy to carry, walk around, leave it in your car. Make sure you always have this available. The combo kit also comes with, of course, the actual gimbal, and we're going to go through this in just a moment. This is the gimbal. This is a mobile gimbal, so it is small. It is made for mobile phones, not DSLRs or other bigger cameras that you might have. This is meant to be used with your mobile phone. So you get the gimbal, you get the case. You also get, which I think is quite handy, is you get the tripod. And I'm going to show you in a little bit what this tripod is useful for, but it's a simple little plastic device. It folds out like that. You set it down, and like most tripods, you can just screw it into the bottom of your device. That didn't work so well. You just screw it into the bottom of your device, and now your gimbal can actually function on its own standing there, and you'll see why that's important in just a little bit. You also get this handy strap for your arm in case you're worried about dropping your gimbal or your phone. Now you also get a charging cable, of course. The batteries are built in here. This thing lasts for 2-3 hours. It's pretty incredible. You just plug one side into there, you plug the other side, it's just standard USB, into a computer, into a charger, and you're good to go. The other thing that's really cool about this is that if you can see right here, it has an actual USB charging port right here. And what that allows you to do is actually plug your phone into the gimbal itself so it can charge from the battery. So if you're recording a lot of video, that's actually extremely handy. All right, so let's get into a gimbal and how it works. So you've all seen the movies. You've seen these amazing shots where you've got these cool pans up, pans down. This device right here is going to allow you to do a lot of very professional real estate shots. And it's simple to use. So you take your gimbal, you open up the top, and you take your mobile phone. I've got an old phone here since I'm recording with my primary phone. And you've got these little instructions on the front which tell you which direction to point the camera. So in this case, there's a red arrow and it says camera direction that way. So you're going to take this, you're just going to slot it in just like that. Very, very simple. And you're going to power it up by pushing the power button. And the gimbal will activate and it will get your phone in the correct orientation. Now, the really cool thing about this gimbal is that it's meant to allow you to operate it with one hand. So there's tons of tutorials out on the internet. I'll link to some of them that go into all of the details about every single control. What I wanted to do today was just introduce this to you. For those of you who don't know what this is, and frankly, I'm still used to a world where these were $300, $400, $500. And now that they're available for a little over $100, I feel like every real estate agent should have one. This device, again, was made to be operated with one hand. So I can actually sit here and I can double click a button and it'll change the rotation of the phone. If I want to shoot landscape, if I want to shoot portrait, I can double click and I can do that. So I can take this gimbal with one hand and I can change the orientation. I can also, by using these controls here, I can zoom in and I can zoom out, which is quite handy because I can do it with one hand. The basic function of a gimbal is as you move the camera while you're recording, is to allow you to have very smooth video quality. There's a huge difference between holding the phone by hand and the shaking that you'll see. And in spite of the fact that a lot of modern phones have good image stabilization, none of them are as good as an actual dedicated gimbal device.
Okay. So let's say that you wanted to walk a neighborhood and talk. On the bottom of the screen, I've got a phone inside of the gimbal. On the top of the screen, I am holding another phone as I walk, same everything. I've got one phone in one hand using a gimbal, the other phone in another hand, just freehand as you would if you didn't have a gimbal. And there's a pretty significant difference in terms of the amount of smoothness that you see in the gimbal video versus the standard video, because the standard video is just taking each one of the steps I have and the camera's moving.
This trigger function does a lot of things. So if I double click it, it will center the camera back to myself, which is handy if you've been walking around and it's gotten a little bit out of alignment. I can also click it 3 times and it will change the orientation of the camera to face me or to face away from me. So I can use my front or my rear cameras just with the click of a button. So it's quite handy because as I'm walking around, let's say giving a tour of a home, for example, I can actually switch seamlessly between the forward-facing camera and the rear-facing camera with basically the click of a button.
So here's one of my favorite things about this device. So I'm actually using the gimbal right now, and I've got the app right here. Again, I'm going to link to some videos that go into a great amount of detail about how the app works and what to click. But here's what you need to know. If you look right here, I've got the gimbal on the tripod, as you saw in the beginning of the video. And what I'm doing right now is I'm basically drawing a box around my face. So I've now highlighted my face on this gimbal. And here's why that matters, and here's why the tripod is interesting. So let's say that you're doing a tour of a home and you're in the kitchen area and you want to walk around a little bit. What's really cool is that what's happening right now, and you can see my hands, is that the gimbal is actually following me automatically, and it will follow me down and it will follow me back up. And so you can actually work in a hands-free environment. I happen to have AirPods on right now, so the audio I think should be pretty good. And I can be talking about the features of the home, and I can say, and over here we've got, this great 6-burner range, and over here we've got granite countertops, or whatever the features of the home are that you want to highlight. You could do this inside, you could do this outside, and right now I'm operating this completely hands-free, and the device is doing all the work for me. Frankly, it feels magical. There's actually a lot of fun you can have with this. If you have kids or you're into outdoor activities, this is just a great personal device to have. But for real estate and for business, I really like this feature because it allows me to have a conversation and have some dynamic motion as a part of that. And I don't have to worry about holding the phone and if I'm shaking or not. It's doing all the work for me. I can focus on what it is I want to say and then highlighting the best features of, let's say, the house.
So look, I'm not a pro at this. This is the first gimbal I've ever owned. I shoot video on my mobile phone just like a lot of you do. What I'm going to do now is cut to a couple clips that I shot. Hopefully you like them, but this is the kind of stuff that you can do very easily if you get yourself a gimbal. That's a wrap for today. So that's a gimbal. This is the Osmo Mobile 3 combo, available for about 140 bucks. You can get the base version without the tripod and the case for about $110, and there are other versions of other gimbals on the market. I've seen them as cheap as $80. What I'd like you to do is comment below. If you've made it this far, let me know. Let us know if you like this video. Do you like us reviewing tech products and stuff that we think is really helpful for the real estate industry? If so, we will keep doing them. If not, we'll find something else to do. So until Monday, take care, be safe, be healthy, be happy. Right now, please be thoughtful. And we'll see you on Monday. Bye.